Hey guys, sorry for being late. Um, yeah, I also, well, you guys listen to my messaging app, um, because apparently an error occurred. That's why there was no music. Um, yeah, how is everybody doing? I ran late. Like this stream has been going on for quite a while. And that's because I was about to start, and then someone came over, and then I had a bit of an emergency. But it's fine. We solved it. So yeah, how is everybody doing? I had a I had a very chill weekend, as one does. And I think I'm not gonna. Hmm? I hope it's a little better now. Again, I was about to start and get in, and then suddenly I had something come up, and but I'm fine now. Still kind of loud, yeah. I hope it's a little better now. Again, I know I'm a little, things are a little out of whack because, again, I came back. But there are a few things I want to speak about before we start. First is the Nintendo Direct that was yesterday. It was pretty, because it was pretty mixed. On one hand, I'm gonna begin with the good. The main good is new Fire Emblem. We were, me and my friends, like I was watching it and I was just totally losing my marbles because I like Fire Emblem quite a bit. I think when it comes to like playing the games, I mostly played like the modern era, like the 3DS era. I am aware, like, and I played a bit of like FE7. Thought it was pretty good. I still feel like it's weird because like I think it's my favorite pretty good series. And the games that like I know are the best, like say Path of Radiance, I watched someone else play it. It's actually came from I actually watched a Let's Play of Xenoflux Raiden, who's one of my favorite underrated content creators. I wonder what he's doing these days. But yeah. But I'm very excited for Fire Emblem. I really like based on the vibes, it seems like we're getting something a little more serious than engaged, even though I haven't played that game. I heard it was fun, but more shallow than the previous entries. But it looks really promising. I like that we're getting a little more diversity. And it seems to be in the same universe as Three Houses, which means we're technically getting 4 more years of Three Houses discourse for some reason. That's the joke, at least. I think it's really funny. Not that I'm looking forward to it, but I'm probably not gonna engage much with it. There's also gonna be a 4th Danganronpa game. I saw my friends freak out about that. And, like, most of it just, like, there were some just weird decisions. Like, I think that, like, the ones that, like, popped into my mind is, the Wario, like, the Mario Galaxy movie is weird. I'm really glad that, like, it's getting a new port, because I am a big fan of, like, I think Mario Galaxy is my favorite game in the entire series. A lot of it comes from the fact that, like, oh, that was the Mario that I played in my childhood. It's like, I think it's like the same relationship that, like, older people had with, that older people had with Mario 64. Mario 64 came before my time. But, like, I know that, like, people like it, and, but, like, it's just not, I'm just, like, the game is older than me. I think that's, like, the way to say it, and now I'm making a lot of people feel older. But I just don't like, I just felt irrationally angry when I saw that, like, they're doing a movie specifically about Mario Galaxy, because Mario Galaxy, to me, is a sacred ground. I think it's such a... And, like, specifically the fact that, like, the Lumas are gonna have mouths, and they're not gonna be, like, these little creatures that, like... They make noises, but, like, they make funny little squeaks. Like, the Lumas are some of my favorite Mario creatures, period. And I just don't like it when they give them mouths. I think that, like, strips them of the appeal. So, yeah, I'm probably also not gonna... Again, I'm also not someone who's, a huge fan of the Mario movie. I thought it was aggressively mid. It's fun, it's cute, but like it's Illumination. Illumination is just really excellent at making mid movies. At least from the ones I've seen. But they had mouths in Galaxy 1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of them did. I think the ones that, like, some of them did, others didn't. But, like, I like the cute ones that like don't have a mouth, and they basically look like just, and they look like the star icons from Mario, but like they don't have mouths. So like, again, it's not like sacred ground, but like like it kind of got a knee-jerk reaction out of me. But again, this is like a movie for like the children, for the babies, for the young'uns, and I am not that. There's also going to be a bunch of new Pokemon stuff. I was really thinking that maybe we're gonna get like a new Mystery Dungeon port. That's like one of my dream games, but we're getting a weird Animal Crossing thing hybrid. It looks interesting. If it'll be good, then maybe I'll buy it, but I don't know. And we also got a trailer for Hades 2. The animation looks gorgeous. I haven't finished Hades 1, and unfortunately, I'm still in the beginning of the first Hades. I never finished it, and like, I played it a couple of years ago, but it was like, playing it alongside University was a mistake, because the combining both of these games, which were very laboring, just did a really big number on my wrist. And I remember like having like weeks worth of carpal tunnel to deal with. But yeah, maybe one of these days I'll go back to it. I think it looks fun, and I am a big fan of Supergiant games in terms of artistry. I think maybe I'll also try like their older games. I heard that Transistor is more accessible, and like a better gateway to their games. But I don't know. So yeah, it's a direct that had some things I cared about more and some things I cared about less. Bastion is also iconic. I actually saw Nino Mai Inanis play Hades. No, not Hades, Bastion a while back, and that game also, I also have a soft spot for it. I don't think they ever miss when it comes to like what they're doing. Supergiant, I mean, they just make really good games. And I think that's something that needs to be respected and celebrated. And it seems like they keep it small, they keep it cozy, and they also keep it sustainable for their team, which is also a big W. So yeah, lots of opinion. Like, the Direct, I do think that, like, I personally really like watching the Nintendo Directs. Like, I know that some people don't like them, and understandably so, but I like watching the Directs because they're a community event, and I think there is something really fun about like being a part of it. There's also previews of the new Pokemon game, Pokemon ZA, and I'm probably gonna buy it when it comes out, because and the Tomodachi Life, it looks really cool. I'm gonna buy that as well. Probably like buy it for like, play it for like a month and then abandon it. But like, I love Tomodachi Life. It's such a fun, goofy, silly, funny game. But like, yeah, with Pokemon ZA, I really liked Legends. I thought Legends was really fun. The game was kind of ugly, and like it looked a little outdated, but like the game loop was there. The characters were fun. I'm definitely looking forward to see like more of this spin-off explored, because I thought it was a lot of fun to play. But yeah. And I also thought it was a better tribute to Sinnoh than the remakes of Pokemon Diamond Pearl, because it gave the Sinnoh generation exactly what they like about the Sinnoh generation, which is the lore. Like, this is the most lore-heavy Pokemon game. Like, it introduces religion and introduces God Pokemon. People like I really do feel like that's the crowning achievement of like the Sinnoh region. That's the reason why people are into it. So yeah. Really looking forward to see, really hoping that Pokemon ZA will have a clean launch, and that the Pokemon team will learn a thing or two about how to optimize the game. Because the reason why I skipped Generation 9, Religion God Pokemon already existed. That's fair. I thank you for the correction. Yeah, but like they really, I will say they really, and Johto is mostly the lore, TBH. Yeah, fair. But I like the Sinnoh generation. They also had the best Pokemon game ever, which is the second mystery dungeon games, because I think they're amazing and perfect, and I played them a few years ago, and I like them a lot. Like, they did not need to swing so hard with the Pokemon game, and it's like, sometimes you play games in your childhood only to realize they're kind of eh. But like, I don't know, something about Mystery Dungeon is just very... Rescue Team... Yeah, Rescue Team is also nice. I like that I played the remake, and a lot of like what makes the game charming is there. I think both of the games just are really charming and nice, and even as a kid, I think it really tapped into my brain and showed me that, hey, video games can have stories and have them be good, actually. That was like my video games can be a medium of art gateway kind of thing. So yeah. Speaking of video games as a medium for storytelling, let's get back into Zero Escape. Which means I'm gonna turn off the synthwave and I'm gonna open the ROM. So basically, I think of like Gamer Core, you know what's coming up. Most of the stream is probably gonna be voice acting and reading, because we actually solved all of the escape rooms in this route. There's only one escape room that has there's only one route that has 7 escape routes. The rest of them have 5. And so yeah, we're just gonna be... So last time we went off, we found out that, surprise, surprise, Snake is dead. Which basically, hey Ripper, nice to see you! It's really good to see you again. Also, I don't know who DUN is. I go by Hale in my streams. But it's really nice to see you. I hope you stick around for the drama that we're gonna get. I also have a lot of water in my bottle, which I am gonna need. And I also have some pretzels, even though I don't know if I should have them around me. It's okay. It's okay. Because I think I probably need to put that somewhere else. I'll probably... Well, who is done? You don't know. Exactly. So Snake is dead. Clover thinks that Zero is one of us. We actually decide to side with her this time. Then, through the power of election, through the power of democracy, we determined that we're gonna go with June, and with Santa, and with Ace. And the rest of the party went with, and the rest of the party went with, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look at some things. Yeah, we went, Clover, Lois, and Seven went on their own direction. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember which room they checked. 4 plus 7 plus 8. Oh, it's the one door. It's not the, they went through door number 1, we went through door number 6. We discovered that Santa has a sister who died tragically, and it's really sad. And that she's not really feeling well. That Ace has issues with recognizing faces, and that maybe it's maybe it's the condition that Lotus said. I forgot how to pronounce it. I think it's prosopagnosia. And after all of that, and me basically racking my head against like 2 very difficult puzzles. I don't know if I'll stick around for long because I had a long day. I'm gonna have a longer one tomorrow. But I just pop by to say hi. I always appreciate it, Ripper. Thank you so much. Even if it's just to go and say hi, then I highly appreciate it. So yeah. Anyways, and now we finally found door number 9. Finally, they found it. Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last, they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood, frozen, unsure of what to think or feel. Junpei! Look! Behind you! By the way, how is the audio balance in comparison to the game? I'm also gonna raise my volume a bit, so I won't be covered. He spun around and couldn't believe what he saw. It was a door with the number 9 written across it. There's 2 of them! Was there a second door? Why? Junpei's voice was very audible even to himself. He stumbled towards the second door as if somehow compelled. Yeah, because this isn't actually a death game. It's not a killing game. At least, not by design. Or is it? It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door they'd entered from, but in the opposite corner. 9. There was no mistaking it. Okay, cool. Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself. Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors? It was Santa who answered. There were always 2 doors. Just think about it. Zero never said there was only 1 door with a 9 on it. It is hidden, but next it can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Of course, we just assumed there was only 1. After all, why would there be more than 1? Oh man. Jeez. Junpei was stunned. Zero's trick has taken him completely by surprise. There were 2 doors. That meant that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape and leave no one behind. Now the reason for the bracelet numbers being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 was clear. Divided into 2, the digital roots for both teams would be 9. For example, 1, 2, 7, 8, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Nice. The digital root for both teams will be 9. Or 2, 3, 4, 9, and 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. The digital root will also be 9. There were many other workable combinations, but they all ended the same way. A digital root of 9. What did that mean? The answer was quite simple. From the very beginning, the nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. Zero had him in lying. Zero had never said there is only 1 door. But anyone who'd found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Yeah, this is, I mean, I was about to say this is like, this is also how, the, game in VLR works. Mild spoilers, of course, to the sequel. Ambidex game. Yeah, the Ambidex game. The game was also by design designed to save everyone. But the third, and again, without getting into spoilers, the third game, which has a different mastermind, was not designed for that, which I think is very interesting. Someone might get killed. But eventually they will reach the room where Junpei found himself written and realized the pointlessness of whatever violence they visited upon each other. Which means the 9th man and Snake did not need to be killed. And the 9th... They did not need to be killed. There were 2 doors. No need to kill each other. They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt of what they'd done. Perhaps that was the purpose of the game. That was how the nonary game was meant to be played. Fortunately, they hadn't started to fight one another, at least not yet. But if one misstep was made, if the wrong mistakes happened, the stakes would rise and the noose would tighten. The thought of it sent a chill down his spine. So, what are we gonna do, Junpei? A voice broke out through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice. It brought Junpei back to his senses. No use worrying about the future. He needed to find out what they were going to do next. There were 4 people in the room. Ace, Santa, Junpei, and June. Their bracelet's number was where the digital root would be 6. In other words, the 4 of them couldn't open the door with the number 9. But what if there are only 3? Could door number 9 only be opened with 3 of them? Let's see. 3 plus 6 plus 5 gives us the digital root of 5, so no, that doesn't work. 5 plus 6 plus 1. That gives us 3, so no. 3 plus 5 plus 1. I mean, yeah, we can actually open this, but it means June would be left behind. It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give the digital root of 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. That would mean... No! We gotta go back! That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed. Yep, I agree. We cannot leave June behind. Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he's been holding. Oh, that's a cliche! That's such a cliche line. Like, you know when people, like, make fun of, like, romantasy writers? Which is all the rage these days, because, some of those books aren't very good, and half of it is, because it's aimed at women. Like, a bit of it. Like, I am... Yeah, but it's like, I just, like, I saw this line, I'm like, oh, I see this line. This is one of the lines that, like, people, like, rag on because it's so overdone. It's like every cloud has a silver lining. Again, not a bad thing, by the way. It's not Uchikoshi's fault. Are you sure? I don't mind staying. June's body betrayed her true feelings. Which makes me wonder. 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 4. No, they can't open it together. I do love the one I gotta apologize to romance writers. My breast did breast boobly down the stairs. Yeah. That's from a different, like, subgenre of clowned on media. Like, that's a men writing woman kind of problem, you know? Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook. It's okay. There's no way we'd leave you behind. Whew. Santa had said when Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door. Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean and escape with this sausage fest. Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta. It's Atlantis, you dumb bitch. Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis? That was... Wow, the localization for this game is so funny. Oh, right. Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. There really is no reason to leave her behind. Mm-hmm. What if you actually wanted to go to Atlanta? Okay, I'm gonna be, I never went to Atlanta. I don't really know what's to look for there. Mm. Mm. Okay, Coca-Cola World. Oh, I did not know that was a thing. Crap. I do remember like there was a huge Coca-Cola store in Las Vegas. I was there in my non-hermiting days. Soda. Oh, Bob. You guys. June blinked with tears in her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't know what else to say. Hale goes gambling. Yeah, I think, like, you know, but here's the thing. Like, I was in Vegas when I was relatively young. So, like, all of, like, Vegas at the nighttime and, like, in general, daytime, like, kind of scared the shit out of me. I was like, this place is so weird. And there's hooker posters on the floor. And all of these knockoff mascots you take pictures with, which are, by the way, they're so scary. I hate those. I really hate like bootleg mascots. I think they're really scary. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover 7 Lotus will have returned to door 1. I also hate mascots. That's fair. I remember like when I was in Disney World with my family, like I did not like taking photos with like the costume people. I was just really scared of that. Not the big mascot fan either. I really like Japanese mascots, but like from afar. Like I I really like the really crazy ones. I really like Cheetan. There's this really funny video of like Cheetan trying to do like a skateboard trick and then he falls down a slope and then the guy who's holding the camera just says Cheetan and it's so good. Even as they spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation. There was no way they could split into teams that could both go through the doors. Ace knew it. They all knew it. But there was nothing else they could do. They would find the other 3 and search for another solution. Alright, let's go. Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door. I also want to check something. No particular reason why I checked this. There is no reason. Senna and June followed. Junpei started towards the door, then stopped. He'd been too busy with the other concerns to notice the room itself. It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it? Junpei looked around the room for the first time, noticing the things that weren't doors with 9 on them. The red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran to the length of the room. The carpet began at a large set of double doors and ran towards the bow. Junpei wasn't sure. Was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin. A coffin. What on earth was a coffin doing in a place like that? And before Junpei had time to answer that question. Hey, Junpei! The hell are you doing? Let's move! Have you played Danganronpa? No. Danganronpa is a game I have absorbed via osmosis. I know most of the big plot twists. I watched Nico B play all of V3 and some of Ultra Despair Girls. I also watched a few cases here and there. And there's gonna be a 4th Danganronpa. Like, it's a pseudo 4th game. From what I understood, like, it's being supervised by Kodaka, and not, like, played. Which is a bit, like, I think that, like, with, Kotaro Uchikoshi's case, that was a bit, like a bit of a miss, because, like, I feel like unless Uchikoshi is directly writing the script itself, it's more likely to, go into wrong places, not just say that, like, he's wrong. Yeah, it is 2 times 2, but people are calling it Danganronpa 4. Yeah, so, what I wanted to say is Danganronpa, what do I want to say about Danganronpa? Math. It's just, like, I feel that unless Uchikoshi is not that good about being like a story supervisor, at least from my experience with Nirvana Initiative, which was, if I remember correctly, written by someone else. I'm gonna look it up if I, because like you can see which games are less good, no, the writer was Kotaro Uchikoshi. I'm taking it back. The director was wrong. The director was different, so this is Uchikoshi's fault. So Nirvana Initiative was Uchikoshi's fault. He just wasn't the game director. So yeah. But what was he in the? Okay, I gotta check this. What was he in the first game? Like, I'm saying it because I did not like Nirvana Initiative. The more I think about it, the more I hate it. Okay, so Somnium Files was directed and written by Kotaro Uchikoshi, and Uchikoshi was the supervisor for Two of the Roots in Zero Time Dilemma, and then wrote the rest of them. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not saying it as in like, oh, Kotaro Uchikoshi can't do anything wrong, but it's like sometimes he just drops the ball. I don't know how else to say it. I love the man. I think he's extremely talented and impactful, and I really respect him. But like, again, it's coming back to Danganronpa because the writer for the second scenario is not Kodaka. From what I understood from my friend, it's from a guy who wrote like some of the weaker routes in 100-line Last Defense Academy. But yeah, I am interested to see where it goes. Again, and probably I do need to play the Danganronpa games, maybe off stream or on stream. Probably off stream if I want to get through it, but you know. Right, okay. I'll be right there. I feel like Uchikoshi's humor can sometimes be odd. Yeah. I think that like, it depends. I think that like when it's quirky, it's fun. When it's horny, it's very hit or miss. That's like in here in 999 it works well enough, but like in VLR some of it was kind of cringe, and the cringe did play into a more significant point. But yeah, anyways, back to the game. I can yap about like the Zero Escape games and the Uchikoshi games that I have played for a while. Anyways, we left the chapel. The coffin room. Chapel thing. Ooh, knocking. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed towards the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long. Junpei found Seven and Lotus waiting for them. They didn't look happy. We got a problem. Clover is gone. Junpei and his three companions looked at one another. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're currently playing Zero Escape. Listed as writer and director for the entire game, as far as I can tell, both on Wikipedia and Zero Escape Wiki. Yeah, so again, he's not perfect. Sometimes he can drop the ball, but like it's a thing that writers sometimes do. We turn back to Seven and Lotus. What do you mean gone? Sanda, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask. I think we need to find a PA system like in the ship and be like, attention all shoppers. We're looking for a short, pink-haired girl with earmuffs. With earmuffs. If you see her around the ship, please take her to the information center. Thank you and have a nice day. Yeah, that's if the game would be a lot shorter if you just had a PA system. When? Why? You two went to the door number 1 with Clover, didn't you? I'm imagining that in the Zero voice, yeah. I mean, this is how I do the Zero voice. I just like cup my hand and then just do a voice modifier. It works well enough. Hey, Gira. No idea what this game is. I'm just gonna assume that Santa is actually Santa. Hello, Gira. You're about to get some spoilers for this game. I hope you do not mind. This game came out in 2009. Actually, yeah, Gamer Gore is Santa. Yeah, we went through the door together. Yeah, no, Mercy Santa. Maybe it's a Spartacus situation. But Clover barely spoke to us. She just did her own thing the whole time. I don't think I'll play it anyways, lol. Well, if you don't think you're gonna play it, then like the entire game is like the entire game is backlogged in my YouTube channel. I highly recommend you at least watch someone else play it. It's a really good story. There are 4 rooms on the other side of door 1. She wouldn't let us into the 4th room. She just said, I'll take care of this one. And shut the door. She must have blocked it with something on the other side. We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out. We called for her, but she didn't answer. So I kicked down the door and we went to the room. But I like how they finished each other's sentences. I like how she says watch someone else play, but not watch me, lol. No, watch me play it. Or like, watch me play it in the past. Best I can do is skim the Wikipedia plot section for the game. No, don't do it! Gira, no! No! No, you are forbidden from doing that. It was empty. Clover wasn't there. Like, that's worse. Yeah, there is a more recent version. They finish each other's sentences because they complete each other. Yeah, they do! There was a door. There was a door on the other wall. And it was open. Worst puzzle, though. Aw, man. Wait, they changed some of the puzzles in the original game? Like in the remaster? I know that there's like a big puzzle that like changes in the end of the game. But yeah. We ran after her, of course, but well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out. Clover's gone. Junpei remaster puzzles aren't as good. Ah, I see. Junpei thought for a moment. When did this happen? We got here just before you. For real though, I won't be buying anything anytime soon. I just finished Silksong. The last thing I need is more time sync. Thank you for the postures check. Wait, they also changed the remaster puzzles in VLR? That stinks. How was Silksong? Like, I mean, I know people really like that game. Yeah, like, I'm emulating this game. Like, you don't need to buy it. The only thing you're losing on is voice acting and a bit more optimal gameplay. You certainly have excellent timing. So you haven't searched anywhere other than near staircase? No, we haven't. It's Dark Souls 2 of Hollow Knight. DS version is better. Yeah, you know, from what I understood from, no, Hale, you can't say that. Nintendo is listening. Don't rat me out! Yeah, from what I heard from Silksong, a lot of people are having a really wonderful time with it, and I'm happy that they're having a wonderful time with it. I met up with my relative and I saw him play a bit of it, and like, the game looks great. It's not the game you're supposed to start with, that's for certain. I heard it's more punishing. Finally I spoke. His voice had been on the edge of resolve and concern. Very well then. We best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin. There were nods all around and 6 remaining players spread out. So, Junpei and June ran to a large hospital room together. So this part is interesting because this is also what happens in Knife Route. As quickly as they did, they searched around under the beds and in the corners. She's not here. No, she isn't. Alright, just in case, we should take a look in the shower room. The shower room? That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him. June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant. Well, we might as well check, right? Let's go. There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame. Unless you count Dono to Dunno and other spelling errors. I see. Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room. No luck. Yeah, I don't think she's here. June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green. The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It has grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei hadn't eaten lunch, he would have definitely had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but... yeah, to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider. Wait here. June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed towards the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head. As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing the other side of the divider was a dead body, lying around a reddish-brown puddle of drying blood. There are so many ways man can die, but this... The skull was shattered in the head, a little more than a pulpy mass of a brain, bone, and viscera. The left arm was hideously twisted into a horrific alien shape. The bright white of skin of the ulna was shining through the remains of the skin and muscle. Huh? Wait. Bright white. Ulna. Bones. The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory. My brother has left arm, it's not like a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him real bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm. Of course. Of course! Why hadn't he realized it earlier? Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm. Or at least had been once. It meant the corpse. Yeah, this is not a... I don't think this is Snake chat. Junpei and June headed back towards the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when... Seven appeared, breathless and yelling. Junpei, June, where are you guys? Yeah, it's Venom, Snake with a prosthetic arm, duh. Snake is a completely different, yeah. So the radius and the ulna are the two, it's the two bones that, like, form the, forearm. He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible has happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat. Did something happen? Snake drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air. Clover is dead. I found her in the first-class bathroom. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was a empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. This is the safe route. June's mouth moved and he heard nothing. She tried once, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place. Clover. Why did this happen? He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse, no breath. But she was still warm and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, if it was not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back, a gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover smile. Her innocent smile. Her energy. He would never see her smile again. He would have done something if he could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot. Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom. Are you alright? It was a foolish question and he knew it. Yes, I think so. Her voice was weak. The fever has gone down, but the emotional scars she's received were not likely to recede as quickly. And boy, she did receive a lot of emotional scars today. I think all of them did. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bedroom. You should get some rest. He lowered June until she was sitting against the bed. She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Santa, 7. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse for themselves. Once everyone was back to the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there. Who was the first to find the body? Me. 7 spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. 7's hand was up. Why'd you come to this room? To look for Clover. But why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loudly as I could. Hey guys, I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom, first-class cabin. Come quick! Or something like that. And I went back to the bathroom. Ace and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something, because you didn't show. So I took down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right? Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask. 7. There's one more thing I'm worried about. What's that? When we finished all the puzzles in this room and got the door open, you stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that? Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so the door wouldn't lock. So we could come back here to this room. Oh, you think I did it? You think I did it? Well, I don't know. It kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it? 7 sighed and shook his head. Follow me. There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the one to the right. Behind the door was a closet. Okay, guys, place your bets. Who do you think killed Clover? It doesn't even have to be character from the people who are remaining alive. Just throw your wildest guesses. 7 stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it. Gamer Core, did you kill Clover? He stood in front of the shelves that filled it and gestured toward a small box. Well, maybe I killed him. That's what I did in the Ace Attorney Investigations games. I'm the true killer there. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei. This is the reason. The safe. Couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figure it might be something pretty important in it. Honestly, in a roundabout way, you are correct, but spoilers. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Besides, I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. Roundabout. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. Put the plate on the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now? Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it. Nothing happened. It was as locked as it had been when Sun found it. There was one change, however. Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish-brown powder. Rust. Junpei stared at it for a moment. Had someone opened the safe, dislodging the rust? Junpei left the closet. Seven followed him back to the bedroom. It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, and thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of here. Was there some other clue, perhaps? Anything that might lead him to whoever had stabbed Clover? Maybe the suspicious envelope on the table. He took his time and examined the room carefully. His eyes caught on the door. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5. Behind that door was the dead body of the 9th man. Maybe I should have had another look at it just in case. Quietly pushed open the door. The smell hit him like a blow to the face. His lungs contracted. I do wonder how closely this is translated, since I don't know Japanese, I wonder how detailed all the stuff is written in the Japanese version. Yeah, that's interesting to know. His lungs contracted and unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food was there into a violet froth. It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered onto the floor. Oof, that's a nasty sound effect. He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh laid in an arc around the body. What remained of its intestines had slid out to the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken out a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk, prepared sunny side up. On the floor next to the broken mess of the man's head lay his glasses. Cracks spidering across the lenses. Stop vomiting, you're contaminating the crime scene, amateur. Yeah, at least, swallow your vomit like a professional, Junpei. The bloodstains near them had already dried like scabs on the floor. That was when he noticed. It's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It had been there when Junpei had gone through door number 5 before. He was sure of it. Right next to the glasses. But now... it was gone. The door 9 bracelet was gone. But why? Had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice. Huh? Where did Junpei go? It had drifted out of him from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway? Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room. You find something? He thought for a moment right before he responded. No, nothing. Technically, it was on a lie. He hadn't found anything in a way. In fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expected to find hadn't been there. The 9th man's bracelet. What's up? Oh, well, I wanted you to take a look at something. What is it? Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom. As Clover's corpse came to view, he felt his heart flip and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips. What is it that you want to show me? His voice was hollow and empty. Search Clover's body again. I found this. As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head, then knelt down and flipped open through her right hand. Oh wow, her her skin looks deathly pale in this one. She was holding a piece of paper. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I only wanted to stare at the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. He wasn't sure what it meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Now the truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand. What does that mean? Some kind of secret code? Sun peered over Junpei's shoulder on the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note. The first clue was likely the phrase Sinister Hand. Sinister Hand means... Okay, I'm gonna ask. Maybe it's left hand because your right hand is the right hand. So the difference between right is there left-handed elves. Left hand was considered evil. I think so. Let's see if I'm correct. Sinister was a term used in Hereditary meant to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms. Yep, you guys were correct. Way to go, chat. The left hand. The term used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of the coat of arms. Left hand, left hand. What did a left hand mean? Junpei looked at his own left arm. At the bracelet of his wrist. Did the darkness of a sinister hand had something to do with the bracelet? He examined the bracelet closely. There were 2 protrusions on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth gone. It sounded funny. What did it mean? Truth gone. Maybe those 2 words. How about reading the... Well, it's not Enog and Herthurp. What else could they mean? I wonder, what else could they mean? What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that was correct, something that was fact. In other words, something that was right. And gone is something that left. Exactly. Something that was right. It would follow by the gone. It would follow then that gone meant left. After all, someone left. They were gone. In this case, however, they clearly refer to directional homonyms. So that means truth equals right, gone equals left. And that seemed to have made sense. Junpei looked at the bracelet again. At the 2 protrusions of the left and the right, of course, of the face. Junpei pressed them in the following order. Truth has gone, truth has gone, truth has gone. And then 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. One after another, 8 numbers flashed on and then off the face of Junpei's bracelet. He checked one more time to be sure. I really like this scene. It's so cool. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8. 3, 4, 2, 1. Huh? Hey, what are those numbers? Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers and order came on if he said anything. Notice number 9. Yeah, no 9. 1, 4, 3, 8, 4, 2, 1. Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed towards the bedroom. 1438 3421. 1438 421 or 6. Yeah, no 9 and no 6. No nice numbers. 1438 3421. 1438 3421. Before longing, he found himself around in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device that he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the ones he just discovered. This is actually a reference to the missing Mighty Number 9 3DS port. I think a lot of people are in denial of the existence of that game, right? It kind of killed the genre. At least, yeah, sorry. I'm just looking for some things. Yeah, sorry. I was just looking at some tweets. Also, X-Dive. No 5 or 7. Wow, I really thought that it was player numbers. I misremembered. Yeah, no. It's interesting. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bedroom to open it? Not my streamer doom scrolling while live. No, I wasn't doom scrolling. I was just checking some stuff Gamer Course sent me. It's like, it was related to Fire Emblem 3 Houses because, like, when that came over, like, there was a lot of stupid fucking drama around, like, the game's story. And, like, I just completely avoided it. I just, like, hunkered down. I was like, I refuse to be spoiled by this game. And yeah, and Gamer Course sent me Yukaris while I'm in there. Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelets had given him. 1 to the right, 4 to the left, 3 to the right, 8 to the left, 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Finished. Junpei heard the small, telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up. Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover has been holding. Junpei picked it up. This was what it said. Fact number 1. The Nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game, 9 years ago. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO, Gentaro Hongo. We know who that is! We know, so it means that Ace was one of the masterminds behind the previous Nonary game. Because we heard from Santa, he told us that Ace worked in Cradle Pharmaceutical. Oh shit! Oh shit! Cradle Pharmaceutical Chief of Staff, Nagisa Nijisaki. Cradle Pharmaceutical R&D Supervisor, Teruaki Kubota. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceutical. Kagechika Musashido. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. Can't believe we're getting spoilers for last notary game, SMH. Yeah, that's unbelievable. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. I always wanted a prequel about the game, to be honest. Yeah, that could be fun. 0. How the turned tables. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, 7, and June. He looked at each of them in turn, and slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest. Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me? Come with you? I want all of you to go to the big hospital room. Oh, listen, this scene, the following scene we're gonna get, one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. What we're gonna be seeing right now is peak. We are going to get in, so strap the fuck in and do not leave for 1 second. I'm holding you in gunpoint. Why? There's something I want to be sure of. What do you want to be sure of? I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit. Wait, you're saying... Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Santa and Clover. Snake and Clover, yeah. Santa's still alive. He's still alive. Yeah, thank you for redeeming hydrate. I actually have a water bottle right next to me. Big sippy. The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by tension like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. No, I wanted you to get water, but right before we go to the climax, boo. I love how Twitch flagged as climax. Get your mind out of the gutter, Twitch. He pretended not to notice. Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there. Then, almost as of cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. 1 hour left. Holy shit. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased. It was 5 o'clock. They only had an hour left. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom. They have 9 hours to escape out of this ship. If they don't, then, the ship will be flooded and everyone dies. Twitch has tagged this stream as Star Rail. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I added the Star Rail tags myself. I can remove them, of course. Yep. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around. A7 and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red? Huh? Why? Okay. What are you cooking here? It's the digital root of 7, actually. Oh, I saw his, yeah, tags are set the user, they don't change automatically. Yeah. If we need to go to the shower room, why don't we just... No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door. Why? Please, just do it. Perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover. Junpei's implication was clear and Seven understood perfectly. Ugh. Fine. What about you, Ace? Lotus? Very well. Sure. Quickly, they pressed their palms onto the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door. as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red display panel. Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure that he didn't place his palm on it, and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared. Just as Junpei had expected, it was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, as long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Sana and June had joined them as well. It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity playing on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well. Clearly, they were all expecting some answers. Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation. Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something? What is it? Do you know who I am? Here to chill only. Hello, Yamitaro. Nice to see you. Feel free to stay around. We're about to be encountering peak, assuming no backseating allowed. Good luck, gamer. I mean, I already played this game, but yeah, thank you. Feel free to stick around. I hope you have fun with one of the best games of all time. What kind of question? Just answer it, please. Who am I? You're Junpei. Of course. Who else would you be? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa. What? Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If we only backseat when she gets stuck on puzzles like in Portal 2. Yeah. Or Outer Wilds. Or Signalis. Or Party Built in Metaphor. Whenever I asked for it, to be honest. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued. The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. The clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap. That's ridiculous. We backseat on command, and only on command. Impossible. So you're saying I'm not Santa? Of course you aren't. Why? What makes you sure I'm not Santa? If you were Santa, then door number 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The visual root would be 1. 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3. It's 5, right? Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei. You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone a bright red 5 on his wrist. Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course, I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered. If you were Santa, the door number 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. As their justification for why I'm not Santa, I mean, the first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There would only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face. Ace, You have prosopagnosia. Am I right? Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth, and so did Ace. He could hear a sudden buzz of conversation from the others. Prosopagnosia? What's that? He heard Lotus begin to explain to them. Ace glanced at them, then turned back towards Junpei and sighed. Very well. I confess. I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this was about? You want to knock me for my disorder? No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia. Ace's face tightened and his eyes narrowed. Junpei is ableist, what the hell? Yes, but he's ableist with the point. What do you mean? Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds. I'll just come right with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him. Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room has grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath. That's ridiculous. What possible evidence to you? I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested we sacrifice one of us. Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued. Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. I mean, there was, but it would leave one team behind. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? And so you volunteered to stay behind. Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you understand my altruism. Ace, altruistic people don't brag about their altruism. Altruism, huh? Junpei stared off to the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear. You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd be back at the big hospital room. What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have? Really? Yes. Bleeding was not something they heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled a piece of wax out of his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it off into the darkness. Ah, well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia. You mean to imply that the person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person? Junpei, they call that prejudice. No, I'm not that stupid. Then why? Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's. What? Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. If the body wasn't Snake's. I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely fresh and blood. In other words, Guy X could possibly have been Snake. It's impossible. He started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring. Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that was the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I wouldn't have no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake? I can think of at least 2 motives. 1. Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2. Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You could have never let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you... Hey, hold on a minute. For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone besides Ace spoke. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him? Look at this. He handed Santa a small piece of paper. Santa squinted at the paper and began to read. The Nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO, Gentaro Hongo. What is this? Slowly, Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's. It's a message from Zero. It was a safe. It wasn't a safe in the first-class cabin. Then suddenly... Give me a break! His face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury tinged with desperation. The paper is a lie! Someone is trying to frame me! Me? You said me, right? Junpei's eyes narrowed and the trap began to close. Hayes inhaled sharply. His eyes flicked off of Junpei to something, anything else. Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, of the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical? Or am I mistaken? It was as tough as a switch. It was though a switch has been flipped. The color drained out of Ace's face, and as he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide. I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. What if I am? I don't know anything about this Nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Yep, big gotcha moment right there. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Maybe someone's trying to set me up, you see? First of all, he stammered as he desperately tried to work himself to a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did all this by myself. Think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake and all by myself? Not Snake. It was Guy X. I don't care who it was. I don't care who it was. You said the killer put the other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. But I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, but you could have. Nope, you could have. What? Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in that big hospital room? Yeah, back then. I took this. Junpei put his hands into his pocket. No, you couldn't have. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I need to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. Ace lowered his hands to where it stopped, halfway to its pocket. The entire thing had just been Junpei trolling and gaslighting a disabled elderly person. I'm so disappointed in him. Just wait a minute, Gira. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead. Tell me I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Bitcoin student outsmart CEO. Yeah, sorry, I just noticed it. Good one. This is, you know how J.K. Rowling retconned her story to like add a bunch of fun facts that like kind of derailed it? I mean, Uchikoshi also did that, but like in a less destructive way, because he just said that Junpei majored in Bitcoin. Merceau. Hey, explode things. What do you mean Merceau? Where is the Merceau? Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah. It'll be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Exactly what I'm asking. You just added the funny French Merceau into my stream unprompted? I see. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and left, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. That's how a French laugh sounds like. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head drooped like to look straight ahead of Junpei. Guys, we're about to see it. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. No, that's a cloud noise sound like. We went over this. This game has cloud noises. That's not a cloud noise! His arms came down. His face was devoid of any emotion. Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. Wow. Wait, you also think that's a cloud noise? Okay. Hold on. I need to add something. Okay. There's a poll now. I wonder if like the poll actually works. I can't really see it right now. Okay, so 67% of you guys are saying yes, 1 is saying no. We were searching for the missing hardware for the red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored. Clowns don't concern themselves with democracy. As though he was reciting with a specially dull corporate letter. It seems like the poll said yes. You should have known. You should have fucking known. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the Nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root. Sample size 3 was too small to be an accurate test. That's fair. And now we're getting a bunch of calculations. As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. That's enough clowns to traumatize 50 children. Oh my god. With it, one can go anywhere with anyone. So I made the first-class cab. So I made it to the first-class cabin to obtain it. Ace successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had been holding. He slipped both of them into his chest pocket and left as quickly as he'd come. Someone needs to put a tracker watch on Ace just to make sure he doesn't, like, go anywhere. Or, like, do you know, like, when you're, like when you're in a ski resort, like, there's, like, when there's, like, children, so, like, some of the guides, like, they put trackers on the kids so they won't get lost. I think we need to get one of those trackers to Ace, then so much of the game's conflict would just be eliminated. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That was when he met Guy X and mistook him for a mistake. Rich girl over here can afford skiing, okay. I can also afford just living in the snow alone. Snake was on his way to a large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure it stayed that way. He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped and walked behind him quietly and called out, "Snake." The man turned to look at Ace. He said nothing. No words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged? It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain the man was Snake. We've never been skiing. That shit is very expensive around. Yeah, that's fair. Skiing is definitely a luxury. He knew Snake had been a part of the Nonary game 9 years before. Snake hadn't recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Why then hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the Nonary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I agree with you. Perhaps his lack of sight has prevented him from recognizing Ace. Or perhaps Snake has conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. He waved his own bracelet in front of the red and finally grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. It's a minimum some. Yeah. It's pretty fucking expensive. Ace threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away. After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to a large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. Pallid like the whale. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still.
Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed and spoke. Ace, did you kill Clover? Yes. Why? Why did you kill her? She was Snake's sister. It was possible Leo told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door number 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door number 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere. Seven Lotus interrupted. Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door number 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious. Yes, I thought as much as after I heard you report on the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. And perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And the last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
See what?
Don't act as you don't understand. As if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
What? Nothing.
There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you take a look at the ninth man's corpse? Did you go take a look at the ninth man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggested you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw his bracelet. It was gone. Clover ran. She made it to where the exit, but Ace stood in her way. You aren't going anywhere. He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her on the floor hard.
Okay, back. What did I miss? The poor disabled man confessed to two murders. Did we assassinate the healthcare CEO?
She leapt back and darted at him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. Oof. Man, whenever I see this reveal, it gives me chill. And that's how I killed Clover. His face hasn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show. You son of a bitch. Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked up at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing, with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed. I admit it. I've lost. I have lost completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room. If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. I like how Ace has some respect for Zero. Yep. A killer respects a killer. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. And I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. And I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed.
But Zero didn't kill anyone, as we learned the game is set up to let everyone escape. Yep! Zero would earn absolutely nothing from a body count. For this is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered other words. Words he'd heard from Clover.
I think Zero is one of us.
One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Santa, June, 7, Lotus. Zero is one of us. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who died in the shower room was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. If he was Zero, surely he had lied about many other things. Was he watching them? Well, Snake having a bit of a gaffe. I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving? He sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more than exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw.
What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. We're gonna leave your ass here to rot.
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed that little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong?
I mean, in this route, Santa actually got to know Clover. He was with her for the first escape.
You bastard!
7 roared and lifted his fist and would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped towards Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose.
Here's what I love about this little interaction. You would think that Lotus would stand in between them, but no, she was the one who pounced first. Best girl in this moment. They're all best girls. I like how Junpei either assumes Snake lied about being blind or thinks a blind man can watch them. Yeah, she does.
Huh. You got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose and raised a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you like another one. Maybe you like another one then. Before that, let me give you one of my own. Huh. Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. It was a gun. A revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to the point of Lotus's head. If any of you as much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull the trigger. I've already killed 3 people. Don't make me think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
Very well.
Oh man, that was a nasty burp.
Let me take this opportunity to eliminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the deads were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door number 5. We'll meet again later. Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then.
Shit! Why isn't it stopping? God damn it! You lied! Open the door! Please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my god, there's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Yeah!
Ace, you little rascal. I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. As I said before, the nonary game was in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of the utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. I'm just checking something. Oh, never mind. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. Even setting aside the number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate the information. 4. Lastly, I wish to conduct a simple test. Just to see if the nonary game was serious or for attempt of a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so I might observe the outcome. Junpei glared at him.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago?
Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted the execution.
Why? Why on earth was it... What on earth was it supposed to do?
I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that. Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook.
Hey, what's with the gun? Where did he get this?
Why don't you tell her, Senna?
Senna ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6. We found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room. Right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking. Indeed I did.
That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind. Ace laughed a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying look. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet. Now I have Lotus. 9 plus 8 plus 1 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
Wasn't there a door with the 9 on it? Wasn't there a door with the 9 on it in the room we looked for that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it?
And how would you know? And how do you know that?
Santa told me about it when we were looking for Clover.
I see. Well, you are correct. It is my destination, but now I must say goodbye to all of you. Please don't forget about my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know. As he spoke, Ace began backing towards the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Junpei, Santa, June, and 7 stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt. he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit. He forced Lotus to open it, then turned the app and addressed them once more.
Goodbye.
Then he stepped through the door. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others left for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over the shoulder.
Notice how it's the same pose as Akane.
June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily.
Hey! June, what happened? Are you alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way.
Jesus, you're burning up.
Your fever's back.
Are you okay?
June's fever had returned, again, for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus. She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was farther away, Lotus's life in his hands.
June, now is not the time. You need to lock the fuck in. Yeah.
What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei. She managed to master a weak smile. Junpei, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I needed to rest a little bit last time. So please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's gonna let her live? Just walk away? God damn it! You guys go on ahead. As soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all in the confirmation Junpei needed to his resolve was set.
Alright! Come on, Seven, we're going after Ace. Hell yeah. Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned, before he had the chance to change his mind, and started running towards the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him.
Let's go!
Junpei and Seven exploded through the hallway, their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran.
So the gang went to the door, to the 9th door.
Okay, a bunch of panting noises. Junpei and Senovan finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs strangled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room. No sign of Ace or Lotus.
They already went through.
He reached up to wipe a column full of sweat from his brow. Maybe. Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to larger door, numbered 9 doors. He looked at the red. The display panel read vacant. He spun around and headed towards the smaller door. The red would tell him if Ace or Lotus had moved to another room. Engaged.
It's occupied. Ace and Lotus went through here. Yeah, it seems like it.
Junpei and Seven stopped from the door, stepped away from the door. I want to check something. Now they retreated to the center of the room and began to talk.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but two of us can't do anything with it. Yeah. First of all, our digital room's not lying. Just then, as they were pondering what to do next, there was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel. Junpei looked up surprised. 7 followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking at the source of the sound. It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it. A coffin. Yeah, let's open it. How? By force. I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? I forget. Anyway, we gotta try. Junpei and 7 leapt at the coffin. They grabbed a hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Oh! Damn it! See? Didn't I tell you? If you can just pull it open, why would you have something like that? 7 pointed the keypad on the side of the coffin. As long as I put the right password, it's not gonna open. The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, it continued. It only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do, Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? They stood there for a few moments staring at the coffin, and then 7 spoke. Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling something weird about numbers over the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Who's that gone or something like that? Yeah, that's right. What about it? Well, maybe that number is the password for the thing, too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock the safe. Yeah, but the person who set up the safe and the coffin were the same person, right? 0 set up both of these. Yeah, probably. Well, then they might have set the same password for both of them. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you can make things any worse. It would just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number. How do you know that? How do you know that? You'll never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? You.
Such a tense moment in this joke, and we're still cracking jokes.
Fine. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because we repeated them so many times, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind. 14382. Wait, what? 143-83421. Quickly, he typed them in. 143-83421. He checked he entered the right numbers, then took a deep breath and pressed the E button. It only took a moment. You've got to be kidding me. There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside. Snake! Why? Juna. Oh, wait, no. Those voices. Junpei and 7, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where they would be. Junpei and 7 looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to him how they came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently he'd been hit by some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei explained that what happened with the rest of them. There was one thing, however, that neither Junpei nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. That Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might as well go insane. They decided as much by the look of the moment Snake has climbed out of the coffin. Snake's story, explained frustratingly little. Snake's true identity was a mystery. Zero's true identity was a mystery, as well as his intentions. Why had Zero put Guy X in Snake's clothes? If Zero had left a note for them to say the owner you had been like 9 years before, was there some sort of connection? Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating. What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying. It seems as though Snake was, perhaps, not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted they knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking was a second wasted. Their time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible. However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood, at a loss for what they should do next. What do we do now? He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the two on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. The three of us can't make a digital root of 9. Yeah, we just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something. Seven began patting his pockets as if he was checking to see if any of them held anything. What? What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This. He finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face of like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that Seven had a number of 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have been noticed Seven look away. Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of door 1, Ada, the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around. It was a lie and Junpei knew it. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know. Basic stuff. Well, they did borrow one thing. Alright, Junpei. It's been nice knowing you. What? 7 + 2 = 9. Come on, man. I was just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking towards the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. Seven and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, Seven put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. The scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7 + 2 = 0 = 9. Now they just need to pull the lever and the door would open. Huh? Why isn't it opening? Well, the third asterisk lit up, so must have registered to reset the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually a 0. Huh? What? That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains. Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. I'll try Snake and Junpei. Snake and Junpei plus the mysterious bracelet. 2 plus 5 equals 7. If the combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number was 2. However, the door didn't open. The mysterious bracelet wasn't 2. Junpei continued. They decided to use the following combination. Let's try all of us plus the let's try Junpei 7 plus the bracelet. Let's try all of us plus the bracelet. Junpei, Snake plus Junpei plus 7 plus the mysterious bracelet. Snake plus Junpei equals 2 plus 5 plus 7 equals 14. That combination worked. The mysterious bracelet's number was 4. However, it's not 4. The door didn't open. The mysterious bracelet's number wasn't 4. Junpei continued. They decided to use the following combination. Junpei plus 7 plus the mysterious bracelet. Junpei plus 7. 5 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. If that combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number would be 6. They tried their bracelets.
Oh my god, it's a 6.
It opened. Yes, so it would seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation produced anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was as usual, calm and smug.
He just woke up from a nap, but he still doesn't know his sister is dead, so yeah.
The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That means the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6. But now, how could it be 6? The display on the bracelets clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had until recently been dry.
Man, that's not good. Guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we now know the door can be opened. Let's go.
But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah, you know only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution for this problem. Last resort, but if now is not the time for a last resort, then when? Last resort.
What is he doing? I don't remember how he solved this.
Junpei, 7 and Snake ran full tilt down the long, straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship, but had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of this one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
I told you, it was the last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have become under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people would have taken it to mean I was 0. Once they convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it was the best to play my cards close to my chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve.
Oh, it's the bionic arm!
I just taken my bracelet. Oh, the prosthetic arm! I just take my bracelet off. Snake's plan had been simple but effective. he'd simply removed this bracelet. How? To Junpei, it had looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through a wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so... how had he done it?
My brother's left arm. It's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not his real arm.
Junpei has slid the bracelet. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he'd had little to fear from the numbered doors. Crazy.
Yeah, I forgot about this twist until I put one and one together. He's so based.
He'd walked through the door easily without authenticating. He'd stepped through the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside Snake and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer, and eventually they came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom deck. There didn't seem to be any flooding. The real reason Snake never came back in Zero Time Dilemma is that he'd be too smart for the real mastermind law.
Yeah, that's a spoiler for Game 3. I don't know if anyone cares. But yeah. Snake definitely lives up to his name.
It only took a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Junpei threw it open.
No, it's fine.
Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read Incinerator. Incinerator. Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over there. How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Ugh. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever.
If you pull it, the door ought to open.
Got it! He pulled the lever down. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back, and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held a revolver in his hand. It was still pressed so hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise has begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was that Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped in Junpei's tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As if his brain finally considered why. The whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted on Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand. Here, let me explain.
It said the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Huh? Who are you?
You don't recognize me. I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake. Ah, yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused.
I'm quite glad to see that you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, and 7. The 3 of you could have opened the door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps? What? Ah, well. Your reaction suggested you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh, they haven't told you? Told me what? Clearly not. Normally, I would have taken some time to enjoy this moment. I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover? Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut! It is absolutely an event. Clover? I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake. Junpei could feel his voice coming hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into a hook of a cruel smile. Clover died. Rare opened eyes moment from the closed eyes character. A staple of anime. The collar left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red raising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked at Junpei disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain perhaps would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being as they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had. You remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right through between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily, there was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again. Incineration will begin in 7 minutes. I'm going to kill you. Snake swirled to her guttural growl, barely audible. I'm sorry, what? I'm going to kill you. Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now, I'm waiting. Don't do it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Stop him, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't! Snake! Don't do it! Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Ah! Ah! Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake! Snake! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room towards Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she made run for it. She reached 7 with Junpei and ducked behind them. Junpei could feel her fingers on his arms, tight enough to be painful, keeping her between Ace. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
He raised a gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I'll be unable to open the door.
Quickly now.
I don't have time for your shenanigans.
In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor.
Yeah, this is absolutely a snake moment.
I see. Then it would seem I would have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call 7. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I've rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye.
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for a catastrophic impact in hot lead against human flesh. Then it happened. Snake stood up.
What? No, that's impossible!
For the first time, Ace's composure broke.
This just in, man too angry to die. He's fueled by spite.
With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me! Get back! Stop! If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me!
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, exonerable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Listen to me! Like I said, don't come any closer! Shit! You bastard!
Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times, the air of the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid towards Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off me! Let me go! Damn you!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, diving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake ensnared his prey, rarely does it release it.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together. What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
They had to nerf him somehow, Gamer Core.
Ah! Damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster!
It's the pot calling the kettle black. Why aren't we helping? Are we just standing there, or did we leave and I wasn't paying attention?
Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Waiting for your life.
Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained.
Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here. You have to come with us. We have to leave together. Nah, we could all be beating the shit out of Ace right now. Yes, we can.
Snake burned towards them. He coughed, and blood splattered across the floor.
Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Fuck.
Then he smiled a sort of smile.
Yeah, I accidentally bit my fucking... I bit my, lip.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You must forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take you with me.
Shut up. Be quiet.
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me.
Hey, Loki dying, but she's chill about it.
Perhaps this will too begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the other life, she can forgive me.
I know that metal arm hurts like hell, God. Yeah, good. Yep. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
God damn it. Shit. We're out of time. He absolutely is kicking his ass. We have to go.
Seven ran towards the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheek where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken. He had body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half his own heart was been torn off. His eyes strong, and he tried desperately to swallow and clear the lump in his throat.
Junpei! What are you doing? What are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside a torrent of blood.
Did I forget what happened to June, or did she just, like, over there not doing anything? I wonder.
He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind.
Snake! Snake!
Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot! Wait, don't be an idiot, Junpei!
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man pinned Junpei's arms to his sides, and he was hauling him back towards the door.
No! No! I have to help Snake!
Snake! Snake! Get off me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6.
Damn it! I don't have a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2. One, 0.
Yep, it's fever.
Gates 2 and 3 are locked down. Beginning incineration.
Oh, so they weren't completely locked in the room, I see.
Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned into mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut in it. Inside he could see Ace and Snake.
Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero! Zero!
And that deserves a sip. That did a number in my throat. R.I.P. Bozo. Yep. I'm playing the world's smallest violin for Ace. Yeah, I love this ending as well.
He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk towards the open door and the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey, wait, Junpei! Junpei, where are you going?
He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here.
How? Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. All right?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going. When they just walked down the hallway earlier, he noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe. Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it and the door opened. Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Damn it! Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrating and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was a part of him that felt like he would be wrong to, even if he could. I don't think they can all escape now, even though with Clover and Snake's bracelet.
I mean... Yeah, I don't think so either.
Ace's. We don't have Ace's bracelet yet. With every step that he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Yes, it's molten slag and ash by now. I wonder why Twitch censored the word slag. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No, codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Connie. Connie! June cried her name and ran. Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room towards her. Oh man. Connie! He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body lying on the floor, he felt an icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still. So very still. No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Slowly, Junpei bent down towards her. Her hands shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back. Her back was moving. Junpei. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Connie! Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up. Connie! Connie! Are you alright? Junpei. This is a different pose than the one we saw in the submarine ending. Her face was pale. Her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she was fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically at his chest. Oh man. Connie! What the hell happened to you? You feel...
Junpei, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way. No way I'm gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You just gotta hang on, alright, Connie?
Junpei, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision has gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane.
Game over.
There was a crack of static above his head, and a voice spoke. 0! Son of a bitch! Where are you hiding? Junpei frenetically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
I am right here. I've always been close to you.
What the hell are you talking about?
No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended.
No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get you out of here with Connie. I'm gonna get out of here with Connie.
You can't. That is impossible.
Why?
Because you chose the wrong path.
The wrong path.
That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where this is shadow, there is light.
Where there's light, there's shadow. So it goes.
What are you talking about?
It matters not. The loser has been decided.
I told you I'm not gonna lose.
No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost.
What?
Junpei didn't have time to ponder what it meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it Zero?
Connie, wait in here. I'll be right back, I promise.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt through the door. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt through the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing anywhere.
Damn it!
He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel.
Connie?
She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before, and now she was gone.
Oh god. No, no. Where is she? Connie! 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 Connie!
A lot of dramatic screams in this one. His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. He then screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away. All that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. This was when he noticed it. The strange smell, one he'd smelled before. The smell of peculiar, white smoke. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind blinked out. And that was the safe ending.
And boy, it's just as good as I remember. Wow. Yeah, it's really fucking good. It's excellent. No, it's just really good.
The ending wasn't safe at all. Yeah, it's only safe because there is a save. I'm also gonna fast forward towards it because we saw this already. The end. Or is it? Wait, well, isn't it more of a reference to the coffin being a safe for a snake? Maybe it is. So, fun fact, in the knife ending, seek a way out. Seek a door that carries. You know, I think the game, now it is time. Let our game begin once again. So we didn't get this trailer before we did this one. I think it's giving us a hint that maybe we need to go through door number 1. You gonna watch the intro again? No. I mean, maybe we should just to see if we can find any more hints. So yeah,
this ending is great. What are we gonna say before the intro? Basically what I was gonna say is, and let's put this some outro music. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over the other endings. I mean, I went over them last time, but, so yeah. I want to say a few words to wrap up this ending before I, log off, but I also want to put in some, background music, if it were. So, this game's knife ending is basically from the same roots as the safe ending. So, if you don't go through door 5 and you don't go through door 8, and you only go through door 6, then you're gonna get the knife ending, in which Clover is missing, the gang splits up, and then Lotus gets stabbed, and then Junpei gets stabbed afterwards, and it's game over. So yeah, not much happens in that ending, and I didn't really feel like getting it because of that. In the Axe ending, well, we'll talk about it once we go through door number 1, but this is the ending you get if you don't do a bunch of story checks in order to get it. But yeah, I knew we were entering peak when we were Santa being a 0 at the end was pretty dope. Oh, I didn't say anything. Disregard what I said. No one. I said absolutely nothing. Shit. That was just a blurb. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I remembered this ending was pretty good, and they did not disappoint. I think that's one of the things that really surprises me. That I like how every character in this game has a semblance of intelligence. Yeah, I need to cut that from the VOD, hands down. I'll also need to find it. But yeah. That was a bit of a spoiler. So just don't catch it if you are guys blind. To those of you going blind into this Let's Play, I'm sorry. That's what I get for having Discord open. But yeah. I hope you guys really enjoyed this because I really like this, game. 317-ish. Thank you so much. Too late you ever vocally ruined the game for me. Yep. I mean, you specifically didn't begin from the beginning and you got a lot of the big spoilerinos, but yeah. So on Monday we'll be getting to the true ending route, because we have unlocked the prerequisites for this one, which is, again, I said it last time, but what I like about the endings that lead you to the truth, this one and the 6th, is that I also zone out, so I have no idea what Hale said. That's good. Is it in order to get the truth, you have to go with each character at least once and never once again. So in this route, you go with Snake and Seven only once. And you go with Lotus and Clover only once, and you go with Ace and Santa and June only once. And that's probably what's going to be happening in the second route. It's not really much of a spoiler. In the second route, we only go once with Lotus and June. And Santa, you go only once. And in this one, we're probably gonna go with Seven and Clover only once because that was the only option. We can't pick because if we go through door 3, it's gonna put us with June once again, and that leads us to a bad ending. You can't go with a character more than once. And in this one, you only go with Ace, but you also go with... Oh, wait, no. My theory fell flat. No. That's not how it worked. In this one, you have to go with Clover twice. In the true ending, you do actually go with the Clover twice. Because of how it goes. So, disregard my funny little theory. It's wrong and stupid. We actually do need to go with the character more than once, but yeah. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, so that's all for tonight. I'll be making sure I take care of the VOD. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back on Monday and we'll be finishing this game, or at least on our way to the end game. So until then, I hope you stay frosty.